And there we go. Welcome to the Food Show once again. Another Sunday afternoon. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful, beautiful day in the fall. And it's great to have you alongside here in our studio high atop the McPherson Center building at King and Water Streets in downtown Kitchener. We've got some tickets to give away on the show today, so I want to make sure that we get those out to you. The numbers to call, I'm going to give them to you now so you're ready and poised. 519-570-2545, 519-570-2545, or star 570 on your cell. And those tickets are going to be for a great new food event that's coming up right here in our fair city, in our region, the Waterloo Region Food and Drink Expo. And it's a production of Grand River Shows, and we're going to have one of our guests will be talking a little bit about that and giving you all kinds of insights. But first, I want to introduce Jake Richards. He's our regular sommelier wine guy from Grape Expectations. Cheers, Jake. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks. Yeah.
You had a bit of a soiree last night, I understand, down in Toronto with some famous rubbing elbows with the famous
SCTV alumni. Yeah, for Gilda's Club. Fundraiser. It was lots of fun.
Yeah,
it was late.
I bet. It was late night, but it was fun, I bet. With all those are some of my favorite guys.
Yeah,
Eugene Levy, Martin Short
is like the epitome of showmanship. He's fantastic. Yeah,
he's quite a character, isn't he? Yeah, good. And you've got some special wine here that you're going to be introducing us to a little later in the show. Tell us about that quickly.
Yeah, well, ice wine. We have a couple of different ice wines to try. You wouldn't know it by today, but I was thinking, this would be a good time to do an ice wine segment on the food show. Yeah. And we have Donald Zeraldo coming on.
Yeah, that's going to be fun to talk to. I don't think we've interviewed a member of the Order of Canada. I think he's an Order of Canada, isn't he? Yeah. So I don't think we've interviewed one of those on the show before. So that's kind of exciting. I'm glad. And you're also now at a new location in town here.
That's right.
The Bauer Kitchen.
Yeah, doing some work on the sommelier duties at the Bauer Kitchen. And
you brought in some Bauer goodies.
I did, yeah. The
Mr. McCourt's charcuterie.
Yep.
That's good. Well, we'll talk into that, and we'll compare it with a sampling of some ice wines. Now, my other guest in the studio today, very pleased. Oh, I should tell you, too, 570news.com. You go to the website, and you can click on the webcast button, and you can see what's going on here in the studio. And that gives you a little idea what a radio show looks like behind the scenes, and you can watch us stuff our faces with some delicacies. But right now, I want to introduce Simon Dowrick. He's the... What do we call yourself, Simon? The general director?
You can call me a show manager today.
Okay, show manager of Grand River Shows?
Correct, yes.
Linked up with Metroland.
Waterloo Region
Record. Yeah. Great. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, well, we've got some big stuff to talk about because this is a major production that's starting 24th.
Absolutely.
Runs through most of the weekend.
Yes, it's exciting stuff, and believe it or not, we've been looking at doing one of these shows for about 2 years. I think it was 2 years ago we first sat down with the city at the market and said to them, hey, this is a really cool space. Let's dream something up. And you've got the facility, we've got the media, and we're downtown too. And let's see what we can do. So we've been actually visiting all of the food and drink events throughout Ontario and all the major cities. Had lots of fun doing that. Great perk.
It's probably about time, isn't it? I mean, this city now,
Absolutely.
With the region being five, almost 600,000, I guess, or whatever it is, really requires to have its own food kind of show, doesn't it?
Food and drink, yeah. The industry absolutely wants to get into this market. There's a lot of really exciting things going on here. There's people moving here, families. And the industry that's here, like RIM and Google and all those high-tech businesses, when representatives of Waterloo Region are out in the world trying to bring businesses here, they're really looking at what's happening here culturally, and it's events like this that really make them go, wow, that's pretty cool, eh?
I'd much rather take a cab from downtown Kitchener to home than from Toronto.
Yeah,
and Toronto gets all the big shows.
Yeah.
I mean, it's about time that we started getting something like this. So
we're actually doing two. So we're doing one at the market, which will be next Thursday through to Saturday. And then we're going to be doing a bigger one at the auditorium at the end of April. So the one at the market's really cool. It focuses on those international food vendors you have there that are there 5 days a week, and then we're bringing in a big marquee tent. We're going to put it on the piazza. We're linking that to the top. We're bringing in extra porta potties. We've got an outdoor patio area. We've got like 4 different stages.
Right.
it's going to be very cool. We're transforming the whole space. It's going to be lots of fun.
Well, here, let's do this now. Hey, Matt is our operator in the back there. Thanks for joining us today, Matt. I know you had to rush in here. Good to have you along board again. And we also want to say hello. Hi. Everything's okay and everything's cool there? It was quite a ride getting in.
Everything's working perfectly, yeah.
Good, Matt's the guy that pushes all the buttons, so I don't have to do it. And we're always glad. I'm always glad to see when one of these guys shows up for me. And in the back of the bowels of the building, we have Greg Bowen, who's running the cameras as well. So a whole team here on the food show. And Matt, let's get some calls in here right now.
Give some tickets away.
Let's give some tickets away. We're gonna have we got a pack of 4 here. Let's say Simon of Grand River Shows to the fourth caller at 519-570-2545, and they get these tickets are a value of
$12. Yep.
So a pack of 4. So 3 people and the winner and 3 people can go and join the fun starting on November 24th. Goes to the 26th. So that's starting Thursday night at 7 p.m. Am I correct?
Yeah, it's open to the public at 7 p.m. We do have a little bit of a VIP. Evening between 5 and 7, so and then it opens the doors at 7 till 10 o'clock on Thursday. So and our website has just gone live yesterday.
Okay. I've got it up here, fooddrinkexpo.com.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's the schedules on there. You can see what's happening. There's links to blogs and all kinds of cool things. That's just where we're starting. We just got that out the gate. There's all kinds of things behind the scenes with this expo. So.
I'm going to ask you right now, because of your accent, you're obviously not from these parts. It doesn't sound like you have a Pennsylvania Dutch background. You're from Cornwall, I understand.
Cornwall in England.
So tell us, please,
Absolutely.
what's the food sort of landscape there? What's the sort of the native, I guess, dish of that part of the country, which is east and
it's southwest. Southwest. Yeah, actually very southwest, as far as you can go.
Just about off the face
Atlantic
of the earth,
is on the north coast, and on the south coast, the English Channel. So. Little fishing villages, depends what kind of season. But when I was back there in the start of the summer, they actually had a same kind of thing, a food and drink festival within the whole town of St. Ives. So I had the privilege to see what's going on there. Delicious, fresh mackerel and all kinds of really, really cool foods and drinks. I was there at 10 in the morning on a Sunday. Of course, that's 5 in the morning Canadian time. I'm drinking apples. So it was good fun.
Yeah. Now, what's the dish?
It's Cornish pasty.
Right.
Oh.
Now, this is a mining dish, isn't it? This is a dish that was originally started off for the local women to pack their minor husbands' lunches.
They had the dirty hands, so they crimped the top. In one half it had the potato and the meat, and the other half it had the dessert like a jam, and they would eat it, and then they would leave the crust and throw it down the mine for the ghosts of the dead miners.
Okay.
So that's how the pasty started, and actually it's huge in England. There's pasty shops everywhere. A friend of mine actually he just sold he started these pasty shops in London, and he started when we were like 19. We were out surfing and partying, and he decided to start these pasty shops. We're like, you're crazy. We're going to France and Spain surfing. And anyway, he just sold his business. He had a pasty shop in every city. He just sold them for £27 million. So
that's a fair amount.
Yeah, he's living
in
Vancouver.
Pasty, from this little cake, this little tart-like thing, basically.
Yeah, and I should tell you that actually at the market, I've discovered in the Caribbean kitchen, they do these patties.
And you find them similar?
Well, you see the English culture, influenced in the Caribbean, and they do these little patties, and they're like $2, and the vegetable one is just like a pasty. Oh my God.
You like it, huh? Have you been able to find the actual pasties here in Waterloo region? There's a couple of British-style bakeries around, in Cambridge especially, I think, but I don't think I've ever seen anything
I've heard there is in Cambridge and Preston, but I haven't ventured that far,
Well, thanks. That's a great little insight. I like the idea of the crust going down the mine for the ghosts of the thing. It's a cool thing.
Yeah, they got ripped off. They didn't get any,
they didn't get the good stuff,
potato or dessert or anything, did they?
Well, I was, I don't know how do you guys feel about risotto? I was experimenting with some risotto on Friday night. That was my meal, and I've really come to love risotto. The basics of the the rice, the condiment, the mushrooms or whatever you put in it, and then a good broth, brodo. Mix it together, and it's just to me, it's just an ideal dish. It's rapidly superseding, I guess, my love of just spaghetti and meatballs, just a plate of risotto. Now, it's the classic Milanese style is the one where you have the saffron in it. and it gets that really heavy sort of earthy flavor to it. But just plain, just the rice by itself is the way it should be eaten. The risotto is usually an accompaniment to ossobuco, but it never is served as a side dish. It's always a dish on its own. I don't know. Do you have risotto?
Oh, yeah. My wife Julie,
she's a cook. Yeah,
excellent cook, and she makes the lemon shrimp risotto in the winter.
That's a good one.
Yeah, absolutely delicious. Yeah.
I do the risotto at home. And I either go really, really well or really badly.
Really?
It's one of those. Well, I think risotto is one of those.
Is it temperamental?
I think so.
You got to put the wine.
Or is it just
really have to look after?
Or is it just you having a little bit too much of the vino as the stirring should be taking place?
Well, you just pour a little in.
There's a little bit of a debate about how much stirring should actually go on. You hear the instructions say stir frequently.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
some
a
people
believer in that.
Yeah, but not constantly though, because you can overdo it and it releases too much of the starch and it becomes very gummy. So you have to pick your spots. I think it's a dish that you have to train yourself to cook. I think you have to do it a lot. Drink a lot of wine, and practice it to make sure you've got the right balance there.
Yeah, that's why my risotto always turns out so well.
Is it? Okay, yeah, it never matters really. Okay. Well, we need to take a short break. We actually have a winner, and the winner of the tickets, and I want to say hi to Rainer. He's from Kitchener, and he won the 4 tickets, so it's great to see. Congratulations, Rainer. Make sure you give all your details to Matt, and we'll make sure that you get these tickets. Somehow, we'll do that. We need to take a short break. This is the Food Show, and when we return, we'll talk a little bit more in depth with Simon Dowrick of Grand River Shows and the Food Drink Expo. This is 570 News.
Now back to the Food Show with Andrew Coppolino on 570 News.
And here we are once again, back for the second segment. Time always flies on this show. It goes along at a good clip, and we need to get a lot of information in today. First thing I want to note is that the new 2012 milk calendar celebrating 35 years, holding it up to the camera now on 570news.com, and the webcast button will get you a little view of the studio. The milk calendar 2012, 35 years in the making. I like some of the recipes on here. I often dip into them just for something to do different. Needing I've been trying to cook more and more casseroles. I like the sort of one pot wintertime things, and there's usually some really good ones in the milk calendar. And I sometimes even use cream when I want to be really bad, more than milk. But the Dairy Farmers of Ontario, I'm sure they're quite happy with me for that. Now, we want to look a little bit more into our guest, Simon Dowrick, and his work with Grand River Shows. So this is, I guess I would say this is sort of a 2-part show. You've got a sort of almost like a prototype show that's starting the end of this week, Thursday, and then there's a larger show that's the sort of you're blowing out the doors on at the auditorium. But tell us about this show that's at the Kitchener Market.
Sure. This is an expo. The one that will be at the auditorium at the end of April, that will be a show. So.
Oh, see, I didn't know that distinction, expo versus a show.
It took me a long time
new language here.
Yeah. Well, we had to differentiate them somehow. So the difference obviously is the market already has a lot of the food vendors there, and the main objective is to showcase that space and what's going on downtown. It is a safe place to be. There's a lot of exciting things happening, and the cool thing is that you have three big organizations coming together: us, the City of Kitchener, us being the record. And you've got the downtown BIA. So I can't remember.
Business improvement area.
Exactly, yeah. And it kind of reminds me of the olden days, when you had a small community and everyone worked together.
Simon, you're not old enough to remember the olden days.
No, past life and all that. But it's really cool. I mean, you've got 3 very, very big organizations that can have a profound impact on what we're doing. And the record moved downtown 7 years ago.
Right.
And we do sponsor over 500 community groups, but this is something that we're really doing downtown that will have a major impact. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think, again, as we said before, the time is right because we've got a growing, burgeoning food culture in Waterloo region, and we need to step it up, I think, and make it more dynamic than it has been, make it more inclusive, make it more sort of community and sort of festive driven, because it's a big part of cultural tourism or culinary tourism and the general tourism plans in the region. So it's great to see this along. So what's the format for the show? I mean, basically, how does it work? How do people? I mean, they get tickets obviously, and then what happens?
Well, really it should be called the Food, Drink and Entertainment Show, because we've got so much live entertainment, which is all local too, which really adds to the flavor of this. So basically, you pay your entrance fee to get in, and you get this really cool souvenir glass, which has the logo on the glass. If you go on the website, you can check that out, or Facebook page. We've got loads of photos on there. And so you buy a strip of tickets, of tokens, what we call, that's the currency of the show. You buy a row of 20, and then you go throughout the show. There's 50 exhibitors, and you just try whatever you like. And all the samples will vary in pricing. For example, a Chardonnay from Niagara may be just $1 for a 2-ounce sample, whereas maybe a vintage wine maybe 3 or 4, or maybe there's a Scotch or something that's a 30-year-old Scotch that's 7 or 8 years.
Yes, Jake, you've got a question.
No, just a comment. I'm looking at the pamphlet that Simon has next to him. And there's the workshops too.
Oh, of course.
The wine pairing and the how does the glass work for a certain wine. I think that's fantastic that somebody's doing that, taking a little bit step above.
Yeah.
There's actually 4 different stage areas in the show. So Expo. In the marquee tent, we've got a piazza stage. We've got some excellent entertainment in there. And in the marquee area, I think there are 1 or 2 wineries, but we do have a lot of breweries in that area, microbreweries. We've got 6 or 7. So Wellington Brewery, Grand River Brewery, all the local ones.
Good.
And so you can get, for 1 token, you can get a 4-ounce beer sample. And there's there's all kinds of ales and lagers and apple pilsners. And in that marquee tent, there are some really cool things. Tim Lewis trio is playing. We've got
popular name in this region for sure.
Alicia Brillinger band playing. We've got Tim Moyer, a jazz quintet, who's going to play. And then Saturday night, we've got Joni Narita. She's got a single out right now, and it's number 5 or number 6 in the UK Soul Chart. So she's bringing a 6-piece band for Saturday evening with horns and things. So. And that's just in the marquee, and then in the main part of the market you have the brand new kind of kitchen they've installed, and we've got a lot of live food
cooking demos and stuff.
There's one in particular. It's called 4 Glasses, 4 Wines, 4 Chefs, where you actually get to take home the stemware after you've been to that seminar. Now there is a cost to that one. It's $49.95, but the value of that is about $120. The glasses alone are about $80. So there's so many things. There's so many people. There's local people such as Donna Marie Pye,
right?
Who's just opened up. Yeah. She's going to be cooking live. We've got Linda Grislow from Niagara. Her cookbook's just hit the national bestseller list.
Ontario
over
table.
10,000 copies.
Yeah,
She'll be
huge.
there doing live demos. I mean, Scotch tasting Friday night with McCabe's. God, there's so many things. Scotch tasting. Yeah, you said you were busy. You're going to be there now, yeah?
What night is that?
That is Friday, and that is 8:30. Yeah, and that's combined with the chef Tim Halley. He's doing paired with spicy and sweet canapes. So we try to pair up a lot of the food with wines. We do have a separate wine stage. If you've been to the market, you'll see on a regular day there's the KPL area where all the kiddies are.
Yeah.
That will be piped and draped and nice skirted tables. That's now the wine coach's corner. So
no kids allowed there, I guess.
Yeah, no. So
maybe my kids.
Maybe your kids.
Yeah.
Sommelier's kids.
Yeah. Every hour we've got the husband-wife team who've actually published a book on wine tasting, and they'll be there doing seminars, anything from how to taste like a pro, finding your style, food and wine matching. And then we have a lounge stage. We've got, you won't notice you'll notice huge change in the market space. We're moving out a lot of the chairs, bringing in lounge seating, we're pipe and draping a lot of areas, bringing in lighting, like the whole place will be lit up because it'll be dark, right? And in this lounge area, we'll have, June 8 playing flamenco music, or a couple of, jazz musicians, or actually Friday, Saturday, the Little Bean Cafe, which is also downtown.
Another coffee shop in downtown.
Yeah,
right?
They're sponsoring the lounge stage throughout the whole event. So they'll be having local musicians performing in that area. We've got a VIP lounge area, which Fresh Look Design, that's our decorator. We've hired a decorator for the whole show. They're going to be setting up lounge couches and
So it's all encompassing, isn't it? You got an entertainment, different kinds of beverages, different kinds of foods, different kinds of entertainment elements, and different kinds of educational elements as well. People will be learning how to cook seafood. I noticed Cottle's Catch is going to be there. He's often on our show, and certainly a well-known guy in the region for seafood and fish. So
they're going to be doing sushi in their booth, and I think seafood pizza, but they'll be doing demos in the kitchen on how to make a great chowder and all kinds of things. Yeah.
Great. Too bad there's no Cornish pasties, though.
We have the Caribbean kitchen. That's where I'm going to be hanging out.
Well, just before let's just take a quick sip here, Jake. We've got in this glass, part of what our next guest will be talking about, and that is the Zeraldo ice wine.
This is the ice wine, yeah. And this is the Equifera ice wine. This is Donald Zeraldo, the godfather of ice wine. This is his latest venture, and it gets released on the 26th of November. So we've got like a little bit of inside sort of tasting going on here. We got to try it before it hits the market.
Yeah, great. It's lovely. I like it because it's not too sweet. One thing I've always said about ice wine is it can be really overpoweringly sweet.
Yeah,
touches down a little bit, but not too hard.
And Donald will probably talk to you about this, but I mean the acidity is key.
Yeah, it's key. Okay, very good. What do you think, Simon? Good?
I think it's good.
You polished that off pretty quick.
I'm looking at
you watching this.
He's got a full bottle over there.
There we go.
With a martini. I hear that ice wine martinis are supposed to be the best.
Okay.
So
let's try that. Maybe we'll try it at the Food and Drink Expo. So give us the W5 admin again and all the places where people can go to get more information.
Sure.
And just as we come out of this segment, then we're going to say we're going to give away another four tickets. So one person will win 4 tickets for the event, and Simon will tell you when and where it is.
Okay, so it's at the Kitchener Market. There is actually free parking. Nice crunch there, Jake.
Crunchy toast with some pate.
There's complimentary parking in the basement. There's only 200 odd spots there. But if you go on our website, as we get closer to the event, we will have where there'll be free parking throughout downtown. I should mention, Great Canadian are running a complimentary bus up and down King Street.
Sounds good.
Picking people up, dropping people off.
That's smart.
So it's Thursday. The VIP is 5 till 7. It's open to the public from 7 till 10. And Friday and Saturday, it's 3 till 10. Admission for the regular public admission is $12, although today we have a special with WagJag. The next 3 days, if you go on to wagjag.com, we are doing a promotion where you get tickets for 50% off.
Okay, that's a deal.
So that's a killer deal because the glasses alone cost us money.
Yeah, sure.
All the entertainment, all the lighting, all that. So we really want to get people to this first one and really get to see what that space is like. And go to fooddrinkexpo.com.
Perfect. That's Simon Dowrick. He's the show manager, expo and show manager of the Food Drink Expo that's coming up starting November 24th. And let's take the third caller now, 519-570-2545, and you get 4 passes to the big event, 570-2545. That's it for this segment. We have to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be talking with an Order of Canada, an icon of the ice wine and wine industry generally across the country, Donald Zeraldo, and we'll be getting led through a little tasting also with Great Expectations. So don't go away. There's more on the Food Show right after these messages. You're listening to 570 News.
We all have to eat. You might as well find out where the best food is. From restaurant reviews to the fun of food from around the region to around the world. This is the Food Show with Andrew Coppolino on 570 News.
And welcome back again. Here we are, the third segment, and probably the most important one, because it involves ice wine. And I want to say congratulations to Donald. He's, we got sort of not the Donald. We have just another Donald, I think was the winner of the tickets. No? Okay, this is Donald on the line here. All right. We're ready to go. I got it straightened out now. In 1974, Donald Zeraldo co-founded the Inniskillen Winery and was responsible for the development of ice wine in North America as Canada rose to global prominence in the wine world with the win of the 1991 Grand Prix d'Honneur at Vin Expo. Fueled by a passion for his beloved ice wine, Zeraldo became a tireless ambassador and, in partnering with North America's top sommeliers, built Canadian ice wine into a world-renowned luxury product. And joining me on the line, we're very pleased to have Donald Zeraldo. Welcome, Donald.
Thanks, Andrew. How are you?
We're doing well. We're glad to have you alongside here. Too bad you can't be in the studio with us because we have Jake, our sommelier guest, Jake Richards from Grape Expectations, and we're sipping a bit of your wine, and we're just enjoying it immensely.
Too bad I should. I just got back from Hong Kong, where I was actually, again, promoting ice wine at the Hong Kong International Wine Show. So.
Well, I think for most people, it's certainly a name that is known, ice wine, when we think of Canadian wines. But maybe just in a brief sort of overview, give us an idea of what it is. What qualifies wine to become ice wine?
Well, technically, under the VQA regulations, which is our appellation, which was all agreed upon by Germany, Austria, U.S., Canada, it's grapes naturally frozen on the vine. So after the normal harvest in September, October, we leave the grapes on the vine, put the netting over top to protect it from the birds, which can be obviously pretty ravaging. They can clean the whole place out in a couple of days if it snows. And then we wait for the temperature to drop to about -8 Celsius. Technically, that's the VQA. Ideally, I prefer to do it at -10 for 3 days so you fully concentrate all of the juice, acid, and flavor, and you remove all of the water as ice crystals. It's then pressed, and you get 10 to 15% of the normal yield, and that's why the ice wine is so expensive.
I see. Now, we obviously do this well. I mean, we hear about it a lot. Were we among the first? Did we beat the Germans to the punch? Was there sort of a combination?
No, the Germans invented it back in the mid-1700s, and it was a bit of a Christmas tradition. The old folklore goes that some baron came back from war at Christmas, and his staff, peasants as they called them those days, hadn't picked, so he said, go ahead and pick what's left. They picked it. They made what they call a Christmas wine, and it was basically frozen juice. So they did it, as a random thing. Yeah. We picked it up in '83 when Kaiser and myself, Schmorantz, Reif, a bunch of guys, all German origin, Austrian, decided to try it. And I thought it was a pretty crazy idea when he told me he was going to leave grapes to freeze on the vine. But it became synonymous, and I think the psychology works. Canada, ice,
right.
Gretzky, mountains, skiing.
Yeah, it all adds up.
Yeah, it works.
Now, I do want to point out, Donald, we're using the Riedel stems that you designed for this tasting in studio right now.
Are you tasting the Equifera ice wine right now?
Yes, we are. Cool. Yes, we have the Vidal and we have the Riesling as well.
Cool. I got to throw in a little plug here. On November 26th, I'm releasing it at the LCBO Vintages, so that's just a little plug for the...
Yeah, well, it gives people access to it, too.
Yeah, right.
As much as the LCBO can give access. Sorry, I didn't say that out loud, did I?
That's a discussion for a whole other show. So.
Let me play devil's advocate a little bit, and I think maybe you can do a little bit of debunking and maybe correction.
Sure.
I hear people. I'm in the food business. I'm in restaurants a lot. I drink wine regularly.
Yeah.
And I hear people say, "Oh, it's too sweet. I don't like it."
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if they have had improperly made or sort of bastardized, I guess, ice wine. Can you set the record straight on what it should be like?
There's probably a couple things. Yeah, sure. There's fake ice wines around, so that's why you have to get VQA ice wine, because then it follows all the rules and regulations. It's governed by the ice wine police, we call them. It's a third-party inspectors. So that's the first thing. The other thing that happens, people do say it's too sweet because just generally, we grew up growing sweet, so we kind of turned off, and then we went to table wines.
Okay.
But I think the secret to the ice wine is the acidity and the well balance of the acidity and the sugar. So you got to have this acidity to cleanse your palate, so then it's ready to food. And then it's also a problem because people always thought of ice wine as dessert wine, which it is. But as I did in my book, I put in a whole bunch of recipes that show you how you can use it with everything from lamb as a glaze. I was in Hong Kong, and they used it as a glaze for the Peking duck. And there's even a recipe for French toast, and it's delicious.
Okay, yeah, I can see that a lot. Go ahead, Jake.
Donald, you'll be proud. We brought in some chicken liver pate with a little brulee.
Yeah, cool.
And some duck prosciutto to pair with so we're kind of steering away from the sweet stuff and kind of getting more into the savory.
Yeah, thanks for the Bauer Kitchen for doing this. We appreciate it.
The duck prosciutto, that's cool.
Let me ask you a little bit about ice wine on the in the international realm, in the international scale. Who are the greatest consumers? Does Canada's name stand out? Ontario's particularly, I guess, name stand out among. Obviously, you're the Chinese because you were in Hong Kong.
Hong Kong, yeah. Well, let me tell you, Ontario is meaningless, so we should stop using it. As much as I love, Ontario wines and all that, but it's like naming, 6 provinces in China. I'm sure you wouldn't know 2.
Right. Okay.
And it's the same thing. So it's Niagara, it's Pelee Island, but it's Canada because people get Canada. So it's Canadian ice wine, and it has an unbelievable reputation. Us modest Canadians really should get our head out of the sand, because it is considered by all counts And Jake will tell you this is a sommelier. I go and do sommelier international concours around the world, and it's very high reverence in the wine world. And we had just got to get used to the fact that we make the greatest ice wine in the world. The Germans even acknowledge it now because we can do it every year. They have to wait for the perfect conditions every couple of years. So it does have internationally an incredible reputation. You go through the duty-free shops, it's prominently displayed by all the very expensive cognacs and other Hermes scarves and things like that.
Oh yeah.
A few years ago, the National Post selected you as one of the top 25 Canadian CEOs of the century. I want you to put your business hat on here a little bit and just talk to us a little bit about the wine industry in Canada in general as a business enterprise. Are we seeing growth where we should? Where are the flaws that you see?
We're seeing great growth. I mean, we need to get more Canadians buying Canadian. I was at Nota Bene last night with some Italians that were at the International Wine Show in Toronto, the Gourmet Wine Show.
Crazy Italians.
So
you said it.
What's that?
Well, we're talking about crazy Italians because your name and my name, we both end in a vowel.
Sì, bravo. Italiano è una lingua brava e la gente sono anche meglio.
You go too fast for me. I can't catch it all.
So last night at dinner, these people were from Piemonte. They've got a wine they were showing at the show, and we sat down, and one of them is a Tuscan producer. And, of course, I ordered Canadian. I ordered a Foreign Affairs to show the Appassimento Red, and I had a Claas and Chase Chardonnay from Prince Edward County. They were blown away by the wine, and they always are, and people always are, and we need to sort of get out there, and we need to, tell people, not just about ice wine, about all the wines. So I think the industry is, unfortunately, right now is going through some adolescent stages, as all industries do. But there's some, great new wineries. There's a lot of new people coming in. A lot of young people. Covey and Niagara College, both academic institutions, are putting out brilliant young people. And I think the young people. And the other thing I love is about this millennial group, these wine consumers. Last night, it was unbelievable. The average age was 30 years old. They were all dressed up, and they were having a great time tasting and drinking wine. And, the pretenses are going. People are just enjoying what they like, and I think the industry is going to continue to evolve. We definitely need more shelf space in the vintages section to promote the better quality wines. And, that's probably one weak link where we need to get some better support from the consumer, because if the consumer demands it, then the liquor board will put it on the shelf.
Well, we've been speaking with Donald Zeraldo, formerly of the Inniskillen Winery, and now Equifera. Do you want to tell us a little bit about? I get the sort of an etymology in there, horse, something to do with a horse.
Yeah, Equifera. When I left Inniskillen in 2006, I took a break and went off skiing and tried to did all the things I wanted to do. A buddy of mine bought the Maison de Foutaille in Quebec, and he inherited the vineyard Equifera, which is right across the street from Henry Pelham. And the reason it's called Equifera, which means wild horse in Latin, is it was a horse farm, and it was owned by the guy that owned Penn Center, actually. And it was then planted into a vineyard. I took it on, and I said to him, I will do it on the basis that I can do a luxury brand ice wine that I can put in the same level and build the category worldwide. So beside Inniskillen and Vineland Estates ice wine and the others that you see around the world at Pelletieri, I'm going to put Equifera and continue to build the brand worldwide.
So it's sort of an outward-looking ice wine, then, one that's sort of reaching out to the globe. Is that right?
It is. It's it's intended to be global because that's how the world turns these days, and the market is huge in Asia. You read the economic news, the disposable income over there is good. We're going through some tough times here, and they've always loved it because they love the packaging, they love the quality, and as I said earlier, they get the psychology of Canada being a natural place to produce ice wine.
Donald, you have any questions for Donald, Jake? Last go of it?
I think he's pretty much said it all.
Yeah. Jake, one thing I want to say to you guys about sommeliers, one of the great things about this organization, internationally, and the Canadian sommelier, the CAPS group and others, is that these guys are our best ambassadors. They love to promote the ice wines. They love to brag that it's Canadian. They love to pair it with things that don't normally go, not just with dessert. So hats off to all the sommeliers. Thank you.
Yeah, I think so.
I'd just like to add, Donald, I'm Simon Derrick. We're just starting some food and drink shows here in Kitchener, so I'd love to extend an invitation for you to take part in one of those. Maybe come to Kitchener and share your knowledge.
Well, I was down in Kitchener trying to learn, along with the regional councillors from Niagara, how to turn our quite sluggish economy, which it's strong in wine, strong in tourism, But the technology piece, we're going to try and steal some ideas from Kitchener, so I'd love to come back.
Great.
I thought when you started talking about turning, I thought you were going to talk about our crazy street system here, and you were trying to turn left, but couldn't. Our main street goes in 4 directions within a few miles.
I still do it wrong because I used to drive from Dennis Morris, go to the pool hall, and then drive back to the farm on Ontario Street. So I still get it wrong. I have to be careful because I feel like I'm in London driving the wrong side of the road.
Thanks a lot, Donald, for joining us. I appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Bye.
In his partnership with Equifera Estate, Donald Zeraldo will continue his role as a global ambassador for Canadian ice wine. And you can visit equiferaiceWine.com to get more information. That's EQUIFERA and ice wine, all one word. And well, that was great to hear him here. I love to just jump off and talking about the sort of Canadian wine scene as a whole, and he's really looking outward to what wine can mean for Canada around the world.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's kind of like that uncle.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, well, he's one of these.
This business he's just fantastic.
An icon. And Gary won the tickets for the next set of passes, and we've got 4 more that we'll be able to give away. So give us a call at 519-570-2545 to get tickets to the Food and Drink Expo coming up the end of this week on November 24th. Now, we do have to take a break. I've been joined in the studio here by Jake Richards, RapeExpectations.ca, and as well Simon Dowrick of Grand River Shows and the Food and Drink Expo. Take a break, come back though. Got more on the Food Show. This is 570 News. That's wild. That's wild, Matt. Hey, welcome back. This is the last segment of the Food Show, and I'm very pleased that you've been here with us for the hour. We always enjoy having all of our listeners alongside. Now, as I said, 519-570-2545 for another 4 tickets, a group of 4 tickets going to the let's say the 4th caller again. And Doug won the last set. We've got more tickets to give away for the Food and Drink Expo, and thanks to Simon Dowrick for bringing those down. We should have had Donald Zeraldo talk to us a little bit about risotto. Remember, I brought in my little risotto thing. I'd like to know he's got quite a lot of experience with risotto. But here's something else I'm interested in knowing. If this would be on your Christmas wish list, try this after your dinner for your dinner cheese board at Christmas time: a Stilton made of real gold. And it costs 60 pounds a slice. Now, we were just trying to figure out 60 pounds a slice. That would be 120 bucks?
Yeah,
something like that. So that's like a pretty hefty price for a little piece of Stilton made with real gold.
You know what? David Cross has a really good bit about. Have you ever heard the David Cross bit about the gold leaf dessert?
No.
Okay, well, YouTube.
I have to YouTube it? Okay, YouTube that. It's made with premium white Stilton shot through with a combination of real edible gold leaf and real gold liqueur. It's Britain's blingiest cheese.
Combine that with a bit of gold.
Yeah,
Goldschlager.
That's right, Goldschlager. Yeah. 67 more times pricey than the regular
You
Stilton.
might overdose on gold.
Yeah, serve with a side of guild.
It's 608 pounds, English pounds a kilo.
Wow.
So you're looking at $1,500 for some Stilton cheese. I mean, I love Stilton, but I don't know if it's that good. I really don't. And I don't buy that whole, gold leaf thing. I mean, I've seen it decorations on plates and stuff like that. It looks a bit silly, really, doesn't it?
I don't. If you're gonna eat gold leaf, I mean, like, what does your toilet paper look like?
Oh, I don't know. Researchers at the University of Copenhagen have developed a magnetic tongue that can replicate human flavor detection with an artificial sensor. The sensor could be used by food manufacturers to adjust their production methods to maximize flavor. According to New Scientist magazine, the researchers used the artificial tongue to analyze the chemical composition of 18 different types of canned tomatoes by examining hydrogen atoms with nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. Try to say that after having a couple glasses of ice wine. Statistical analysis correlated collections of these compounds with flavors like saltiness, sweetness, and bitterness, and ranked by trained tasters. The magnetic tongue tastes tomato liquid practically straight from the can. and manufacturers could sample tomatoes during production with this sensor and quickly adjust their methods to create better tasting products. Well, so there's some good products in the can, there's no doubt, but every time I eat tomatoes out of a can, they taste like metal to me. That's what I think about the metallic nature of them. So, but this just shows you, I think, where food science goes off the rails a little bit and gets a little bit silly. Now, something that isn't silly, there's a thing called, we've heard of blood diamonds, right? The diamonds that have been, I guess, mined from, not nice
blood,
sources.
still some gold.
No, that's
the same people that get the gold leaf for
I think so. Yeah. Well, there's a thing now called blood cashews, nuts processed by inmates during enduring human rights abuses in Vietnamese forced labor camps. Time magazine reported on allegations made in a report by Human Rights Watch about the production of what they are calling blood cashews in Vietnam, coming from Congo, from Burma and Vietnam area. That these sort of nasty practices, enforced labor, workers being beaten, extremely long hours. Even comments about electric shocks have been dropped. So there's some really nasty things going on there. And they constitutes human torture under international law, and that is a serious thing. So, but it's hard though when you have to think about everything that you're eating in these kind of contexts, isn't it? To watch, like, is this properly? Is it sustainable? Is it been mined properly?
I think people need to be informed about that. Make a conscious decision over those sort of things. For sure.
Michelangelo used marble. Sarah Kaufman uses cheese. There's a lady in Wisconsin that's sculpting using big blocks of cheddar cheese. Yeah. She's the cheese lady. She's one of 3 professional cheese sculptors in the U.S.
Really?
But she's also part of I don't believe this. Part of a growing movement of artists bringing food art out at state fairs and into the mainstream. Apparently I've seen her works. There's it's like a firefighter. It's an homage to a firefighter. So, and it's carved out of a block of Wisconsin cheddar.
Sounds cheesy to me.
Yeah, it does sound cheesy. Yeah.
We should get her in the show.
Yeah.
Sculpting a bit of cheese.
I think that would be kind of neat. I mean, I like the ice sculptors with the chainsaws, but I think she uses a little finer tool.
Wouldn't last long in the kitchen, would it? Everyone with their picks, and they'll be picking away at the cheese.
Oh, well, okay. So just a few little news. We should note, too, that Donald Zeraldo has quite a nice little book out called Extreme Winemaking, Ice Wine, Extreme Winemaking. And that's his partner, Carl Kaiser, I guess, his business partner, Carl Kaiser.
That's right, yeah.
It's a nice book. And let me get your final thoughts on the ice wine. I mean, this is something that, where can people get this wine? We should note, too, Jake, right now.
Well, the KGBO will be carrying it fairly soon. I mean, I love ice wine. I don't find it like a dessert wine. I think that really kind of narrows down its potential. I mean, we've had some really nice. What do you need?
Well, no. Okay. So I'm going to say grab me the schedule because we actually have an exhibitor. An exhibitor will be selling ice syrup at the show, Acropolis.
Well, we've got to get out of this segment, so I want to thank you guys for coming here. We're going to finish off our wine, and we're going to introduce everybody to the Regional Food and Drink Expo coming up on November 24th. That's it for the show for this week. Thanks to Simon Dowrick of
Sandra.
Grand River Shows and the Waterloo Region Food and Drink Expo. FoodDrinkExpo.com. That starts November 24th. Thanks also to winemaker Donald Zeraldo and Jake Richards of Grape Expectations, grapeexpectations.ca, and as well the Bauer Kitchen for the treats they provided. Visit the 570news.com for an archive of past shows and follow the Food Show at twitter.com, 570foodshow, and you can read my column in the Kitchener Post each Friday. Join us next week for more on the Food Show. We'll be holding a chef's roundtable. Please tune in. Remember, eat wisely and eat well. Thank you for joining us here on the Food Show, only on 570 News.
You work hard for your money, and now it's time to get your money to work for you. It's all about the almighty dollar on Your Money Matters, Wednesdays at noon on 570 News.
On our next show, we're going to be talking about something that you asked us about. We're going to give you an update on Research in Motion. Is it a great investment? Tune in.
Your Money Matters, this Wednesday at noon on 570 News.